Alrighty, what is up guys? Welcome to Formula 1 Manager 22. This is the new game from Frontier Developments, kind of in a very similar vein to the Football Manager games, where you're managing a specific team in the F1 roster. So, I've played a little bit of this game already before. I've gone about 5 races into a season with Williams, so I have an understanding of the controls. However, we will be starting off a game as Haas. So let's get loaded in to the homepage. So, I've not done anything. I've literally just started the campaign on this. So this is the home screen. So what we have here is just a couple boxes to show you what goes down briefly. So up here, you have where you currently are in the championship, how confident the board are in you, because you have to manage the board, your seasonal objective, and your long-term objective. This will update as time goes on, so after each race, if you do really well in a race, your board confidence will go up. If you do poorly, your board confidence will go down. These are your 2 current drivers, so Haas currently have Mick Schumacher and Kevin Magnussen, and their ratings as well. This is the current Constructor standings, so you have all 10 teams here. Of course, everyone has 0 points right now. And then you have the driver standings as well on that second tab. This is the upcoming race, so it's round 1 of 22 in 11 days at Bahrain, obviously after pre-season testing as well, so which is visible on here. And then you have your upcoming events here. This is just a kind of breakdown of your calendar, which we'll get to later. Anything that's basically in yellow you don't really have to worry about other than ATR periods. This is for developing your car, so you'll monitor your ATR periods as they go, and you get a certain allotted amount of wind tunnel hours and virtual wind testing hours for developing new parts and upgrading current parts, which we'll have a look at once we get to the cars section. So, this is the home page. Let's move on to the inbox. Yes, this is an email simulator. So, as days goes on, you'll get emails about stuff going on with the team and results from races and places where members of staff see that you can develop. So you'll at the end of a race weekend, you'll get kind of a breakdown of sort of like where X driver can improve, or where the car could be improved from what all the statistics are saying. At the minute, this is empty. We just have our welcome, which there'll be more and more. You'll go 4 days and get like 7 emails at the start of the game. You'll get more and more throughout the game as you're kind of spinning more plates. This is the calendar. So this goes all the way through the year. Obviously, it is currently May 22. Oh, is it May 22? March 22. So this is the start of the ATR period. And then all the yellow ones are sponsor obligations and stuff, and then the little blue tags are race weekends. So we have 2 race weekends in a row, double header, being Bahrain and then Australia, I think. Oh god, is it Australia? Saudi. And this is trackable all through here, but these all come up on your home page in the upcoming events tab as well, so you don't really need to visit the calendar that much. Next you have circuits, so this is the breakdown of the year in the year in racing. So just information about the circuits, not really that massively useful, although it does tell you the number of laps for the race and the tire allocations as well, which will be useful for working through with practice and qualifying. Next you have the race. So this is the same information that you have on the circuits, but about the upcoming race. So you have circuit info, and then you have the performance targets. They get set closer to the... Oh no, you don't need to click them. There we go. You have your performance targets. These are set by your sponsors. So we have a target to reach Q2, finish... What position? Oh yeah, finish at least 12th. And we want to finish 2 races in a row with 1 driver reaching at least 14th position. These kind of stay throughout the season. And then what you can do is, if you're getting really, really confident, you can then add these guarantee slots. So say I wanted to say we could actually qualify, we could guarantee that we could qualify a driver in 10th. I could put a qualifying one in there, and that will have a potential reward of $106,000. But if I don't do that this race, I'd lose out $26,000. And you can do that for each one. So race targets, you can say we'll get fastest lap, or we'll get a better finish position, and the same with the hot streaks. And then you have the driver overview. So these are our current drivers on our roster. So you have Schumacher, Magnussen, and then Fittipaldi as our reserve driver. You can put reserve drivers in cars on testing, though if you're just starting out in the game like I am, it's generally recommended that you just keep your 2 drivers in there so they have the best track knowledge possible. And then with the car builds, you can see what we have of each part. So you can see all car parts fitted, so everything is fitted on the car, but you have so you got the C1 chassis, the front wing 1, rear wing 2, side pods 1, underfloor 1, and suspension 1. As these upgrade, well, as you develop new parts for these, you can then start fitting newer parts to each car, and you can develop in certain directions to make each driver better. That's definitely something you could probably do as a bigger team. However, as a smaller team at the minute, you'll be developing to improve both drivers, but you may also not be able to build each car part straight away. So you might develop, say, a new front wing, but you can only build one of them to start off with, like probably down to money or that kind of thing. So you would then only build one and fit it on whichever driver it would benefit best, and then fit it to the other driver once that comes around. Next, we have the cars. So you can have a look. So car 1, which is a mixed car, so you have Mick Schumacher as a driver, and then as race engineer, which is Gary Gannon. There is a relationship stat between both driver and engineer, which as the driver and the engineer work together for longer, that relationship stat improves, which will then make the driver's performance better and the race engineer's performance better, which will improve with strategy and calls and just general race performance. See, in car 2, we have K-Mag and Ed Reagan in the same slot. And then you can have a look at car analysis. This generally comes up, you'll get this after races, but you can have a look and see sort of like, so you can compare it against other cars. So we're probably going to be battling, I would say, Alfa Romeo. So we can compare it against the Alfa Romeo Sauber car. So you can see these are our car stats on here, and these are the Alfa Romeo car stats here. So we have better acceleration. Oh no, no we don't. No, we don't. The Alfa has better acceleration. It can do 1.88 Gs of acceleration, whereas we only do 1.875. The Alfa Romeo has better luck. The Alfa Romeo is better than us pretty much all round. Anything that is white is better than us. But then say if we compared it to the Williams, we are better than the Williams all round. Especially Nicky's car. So you can kind of use this to compare. There we go. We're looking a bit more on par with the AlphaTauri. The AlphaTauri has better top speed and acceleration, but we have better cornering performance. We're drawn on acceleration over DRS. But we're better in dirty air, which when we're further back in the pack, we always generally will be. Cool. So now you have car parts developments. So you have 2 tabs here. You have your new projects and current projects. We'll start with current projects first because there's nothing going on. So this is where all of your projects will appear. You have a certain number of engineers that you can allocate to each project. So for instance, we have 10 engineers we can allocate. So we can allocate 4 engineers to designing something, 2 engineers to building something, and then 4 engineers to researching, to then develop the car as we go along. So let's have a look at new projects. So design and manufacture is all we will need until, there you go, research locked until the 18th of April 2022. So design and manufacture is for designing stuff and building for the current regulations. So this will be stuff that's going to go on your car straight away. And then when regulations get set, you get research, so you can start looking at developing car parts for next season. It's like I said, there's going to be a lot of balancing plate. So we can't manufacture anything at the minute, or there's no point in manufacturing anything at any point today, because we have enough parts of each of our current developments to do to race, so we're fine. So we can start looking at new parts. We'll go to design. Now, the AlphaTauri, we are losing out on top speed and acceleration. So we want to look at something that would affect that. So we could do chassis, rear wing, side pods, underfloor for acceleration, but underfloor is more cornering really, or suspension. Oh, we do have an S2 suspension, so we can manufacture some suspension. Never mind, I will show you manufacturing. So there we go. So we've already got a tier 2 suspension designed in the S2. So we don't need to develop a suspension for the minutes, because we have a new suspension that we can start to design. So let's go for chassis. Now this is where we can set our, so CFD is computational fluid dynamics, which is the computer hours. So we get 6.9 hours on a computer in this 56-day period. So we can set that as, let's go for about half of it, so 3.5. So we'll have 3.5 hours in the CFD, and as you can see, as we increase that, the percentage increase improves. So let's go back to 3.5. So there we go. So currently, the fitted chassis has a 48.05% drag reduction tag, whereas we would then up it to 50.23%, which results in a 0.02 kph top speed increase. Similar with engine cooling and airflow middle. It's about a 2% increase on airflow middle, which improves most stats. And then wind tunnel hours, we get 92 wind tunnel hours every 56 days, so we can go a bit more aggressive with this. So let's say we'll give it 31 wind tunnel hours, which again improves these stats. So drag reduction is improved to 50.5% over 48, so that's a 2.5-ish% increase. Again, 2.5% increase on engine cooling and a 2.5% increase on airflow. You can then tag over to the summary, so it will take 30 days, so it'll be done on the 6th of April 22. It's going to cost 100 grand. There's no cost of approach yet because we haven't set the cost of approach, and it just has the cash remaining. So we have $15 million in the bank, but we can spend 114 million throughout the rest of the season underneath the cost cap. So now we can select what our focus is, so we can set it to either race performance, optimize aerodynamics, optimize cooling, or balanced. So if we go to race performance, what it'll do is it'll increase drag reduction. So that would really improve. So that's up to 61.48%, but really drop down engine cooling, which this Ferrari power unit, I don't think it has many issues with engine cooling this year. It's been on fire a few times, but that's not quite something we need to worry about this early on in the season if stuff goes wrong. We're still testing things out, so we'll continue to the development settings. Now we can set the number of engineers we want. So I want 4 engineers on this project, and then you can have a normal project. So you can, so this will be done at the normal rate, so it'll take 27 days. So it'll be done 3rd of April 2022. And will improve our team's knowledge of chassis development at the normal rate. You can rush it, so the engineers will put extra hours in, but it means the cost is higher, so it will cost us an extra $50,000, but lowers our expertise gain. So the our team's knowledge of chassis development doesn't improve as much because we're really pushing it through. Or you can go for intense, which will take extra time. Will cost even more, so it will cost 230,000. This is what I'm going for this one. We will get a much higher expertise bonus, which will mean developments further down the road will be better. So I think we're actually just going to go for normal for now. So there we go. So we can start the project. Alrighty, so that is now developing. So let's go over to manufacture. So we have two sets of suspension here. So it's a minimal increase, but it's an increase. So that's always good to look at. Better dirty cornering, dirty air cornering, better clean air cornering, and a slight top speed increase as well. So I'm going to manufacture 3 more of those at the normal rate, $150,000 dollars. Let's get those manufactured. Okie dokie. So that is car parts development sorted. But now we can go back to the cars and we can show you how to fit something. So now I know that we have that second suspension. We can go to car 1, which is Mick Schumacher's car. Suspension, change, and then we can fit the S2. So we'll install that, and there we go. So that those benefits have been applied to the car. And then we can go back, and that is it. So let's have a look at warehouse as well. Warehouse is just what we have in storage. So the number of chassis we have, front wings, rear wings, yada yada yada, and the powertrain stuff as well. So ERS and gearbox. Okie dokie. So the next tag is our drivers. So these are the 3 drivers we currently have on contracts. We've got Mick Schumacher, Kevin Magnussen, and Pietro Fittipaldi. We have the ability to scout for new drivers as well, so we can look at people in Formula 3 and Formula 2, but we can also then look at scouting other drivers from Formula 1. So we could look at poaching Alex Albon, or we can look at bringing someone up from below in F2. So like we can go for, just looking for a name I recognise. There we go. Dennis Hauger or Enzo Fittipaldi, Enzo Trulli, who's in F3, Drugovic, Saucy, all younger drivers who we can look at bringing up. And if we scout the drivers, we can then bring them into our development team and start building up their skills before they get the full-on race seat. Right, next we have our staff. So this is kind of all you really see for staff-wise. So you have our technical chief, which is Simone Resta. So he leads the development, the general development of the team, but also focusing on the mechanical side. He has 10 months left on his contract. He's an 80. And I think if I click on him, I can look at his contract as well. There we go. So I can renew his contract. He's currently on a salary of 2.8 million. Jesus, I'm in the wrong career. Though he is the technical director. He's currently on a year's contract. Salary, his morale. You can scout for a replacement, so you can have a look at other people within teams here. So I wonder if I could. Oh, he wouldn't be in here. He'd be an aerodynamics chief. But you can have a look at other people and bringing other team members in. So if I go to head of aerodynamics, see there? Can I steal him? Come on. He's not there. I was going to see if I can steal the Red Bull chief, but that's Enrico Balbo. And then you can scout race engineers as well, like Lambiase and stuff. And then next you have our head of aerodynamics, which is Aaron Melvin. Again, all the same stats. And then you can have a look at engineering teams. So you can change the team size of our engineers, their salaries, and who they're assigned to. Our engineers, scouting team, and pit crew are just kind of faceless goons. There's no real names to them. Alrighty, next is facilities. So each F1 operation needs to develop its facilities as well as its cars, because if you don't have the facilities to develop a good car, you can't develop a good car. So you can have a look. So see, we have our factory here, which we can refurbish or we can upgrade. It cost me 7 million to upgrade, but it'll improve my capacity from 2 to 3, and it'll improve my development speed from 2% to 6%. In the same way, we can go to the design center and the wind tunnel, which will just generally improve the car, and the CFD, which will improve the car, suspension simulator in the same way, and car park test center as well. So they'll all improve the cars as a general thing, but then but then you also have the staff facilities here, which means you can have like a team hub, which makes the team more attractive to new members of staff, improves staff morale and improves staff experience gain. Then you have the scouting department, and you can build a race simmer as well, which improves the drivers' development, which I might actually go straight ahead and build that race sim. And then you have the operations facilities. You have the boardroom, which if you improve, improves the board's confidence in you. The hospitality area, the weather centre, the helipad, memorabilia room, and tour centre. All three of these aren't really going to matter until I get some trophies. Alrighty, now for the scary bit, the board. So this is where your fate is decided, unfortunately. So you can have a look and click the board confidence here, so you can see that our board confidence is currently medium. This is based on how you satisfy their goals that they set for you. So the season objective is currently 6th or above. So if we're in 6th and earning points consistently and staying in 6th or above 6th, the board will be very, very happy with me, as well as race performances. The board will want us to be getting points consistently and following the objectives and keeping control of the finances. If I bankrupt the team, we're buggered. So that's all following our season objectives, and then our long-term objectives is podium contender, which our target season is 2024, so I have 2 years to basically bring the team up to be a podium contender. Next you have the budget, so this is basically just how much money we have. So our seasonal budget is 57 million, with initial payment of 6.9 million from the board, and then an additional monthly payment of 4.6 million. So every month I'll be getting 4.6 million investment from the board. And then you have our team rating. So currently our team rating is underdog, so we have a score of less than 450, which is at 410. You earn better points by winning races, getting good drivers results, and earning points. And then season over season, your rating will improve throughout the team. And then this is my profile. So I am John, manager. I have 1 season as team principal. No data yet, because it's all in progress. Right, and then the rules and regulations. So this is where we can have a look at stuff for next season and any technical directives that are issued for what is going to be changed throughout the year or what will be coming into play next season, in the same way as the financial regs are. So the cost cap is staying the same for next season, and you can see the season price share. So if we're aiming for 6, we'll get 46 million at the end of the season. And then sporting regs, so pole position bonus point, fastest lap bonus point, double points for the last race, and then you have our points allocation, CFD testing limits, wind tunnel testing limits, gearbox limits, ERS limits, and engine limits. So that's everything for the sporting side. Now, finances, where we get into the really nerdy numbers. So our seasonal balance, you can see it's a graph. So in the overview, our starting balance is 5.439 million. We're currently at 13.941 million because of income from the last 2 months from our board. And then we have a breakdown of everything that's coming in and going out. So driver contracts, staff, facilities, car development, sponsor payments coming in, entry fees, engines, board payments, prize money. All of that is calculated here. So we have currently a positive balance of 8.5 million from the last year. And projected spending to season end. So we have, this is basically everything that is projected for the rest of the year. So we'll have 87 million from sponsors, 62 million from board payments, and we're expecting 37 million in prize money. So it's 187 million in income with 57.7 million in outgoings, which looks as a season profit of 129 million. Right. Monthly balance, cost cap, and sponsorships are all the same way. So this is where all of our sponsorship money comes in and is managed. So from merchandising, our income per race is 633,000, but that's per race. So we're looking at having an income of 4.6 million from that, from the end of the season. Race day factory events, looking at making 571,000 on that. Factory events, race hospitality, driver appearances, and race weekend approaches. These are all the little yellow tags that you see on their calendar. They're all earning you money. And then finally, standings. This is available on the homepage. It's literally just the race standings. So, now that we're all set up, I don't want this video to be immensely long. It's a very information dense game. So what I am going to do is I am going to end this here, but then I will upload the first race in the same time. So thank you very much for watching me and listening to me talk at you for the last 26 minutes. Hopefully you come back. I'm going to be playing through the whole season, couple seasons on this, seeing how far I can get with the team. So yeah, should be fun. See you around.